Hey
Hey
y'all,
y'all,
welcome to Chief Complaint
Tacky,
and Caffeinated. I'm Jess.
and I'm Britt.
We're two nurse practitioners, moms, wives, and longtime friends who met in nursing school, and somehow we've managed to juggle evolving healthcare, careers, and our home lives.
This is where we talk about the things that don't fit into a 15-minute visit: healthcare, beauty, motherhood, marriage, business, burnout, and whatever else life throws at us.
Two in peace
Real life.
and fully caffeinated.
Hey everybody, we're back for episode 3. So soon.
Yes. So it's time to talk about GLP-1s. Hot topic. I feel like it's probably overly talked about.
Mhm.
However, like it's very relevant right now.
Yeah.
Something to consider with everybody. This might be where they're starting to get burnout after making their New Year's resolutions. They've been at the gym every day since January 1st, and
They're discouraged.
they're not seeing the effects they were hoping for. And so now they're probably considering giving up. But we think you should consider GLP-1. So we want to go over all the things that we know and share with you so that you can decide if that might be a fit or consideration for you.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing that people are going to say is the controversy of, is it cheating?
Oh yes. The
Yeah.
stigma behind that.
Well,
Is it a crutch?
from my perspective, I'm like, well, people taking creatine and buying protein supplements and drinking caffeine before going in, is that cheating or is that just something aiding in the process?
Right.
Right. So from my perspective, if GLP-1 is a fit for you, I feel like it's cheating.
No.
No, GLP-1 is a natural hormone that your body makes already. And so,
It's support.
yeah,
I feel like it supports.
yes.
Yeah,
So-
you can't, you got to have lifestyle changes too with it. Like, you just can't depend on, you can't make it a crutch where that's the only thing you're doing. You're still eating
Right.
crap, you're not exercising. Then yes, but to each their own. Like, if you feel like you need to use it to lose the weight that you had all your life, use that crutch.
Yes. And from my experience, it has been, in clinical experience, it has been that last little thing that somebody needed to make all those changes realistic, right? So overly obese patients that have come in that have started the GLP-1s, they had the weight loss they needed. They've had the decrease in pain and inflammation.
Right.
And it's increased their motivation. They're feeling better already to where it is more realistic for them to go to the gym. And so they were starting to make all the lifestyle changes.
It's the boost they needed.
Yes.
So, yeah, I agree. I think that's wrong for people to say that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it on TikTok all the time. Like, those GLP-1s are bad for you, or they cause cancer.
There are side effects.
There's side effects.
Yeah, there's side effects to it,
Yeah. So let's go through the different GLP-1s. So you guys kind of know what's out there, and we'll tell you what's fact versus fiction, as far as GLP-1. So you want to start out with semaglutide? Everyone knows that one.
That's my least favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased about it because I lost the last 25 of my weight loss journey with semaglutide.
So in my clinical experience, what I've seen, I feel like the semaglutide takes longer to work. It's longer to see results, which is not always a bad thing, but they seem to have more GI side effects with it.
Right.
And so from my experience, I've had more patient complaints with semaglutide as compared to
Definitely
the tirzepatide.
Yeah, the nausea, the constant nausea, and it gets better with time. It's just people don't give it enough time before they decide, I can't do this anymore. And it's not for everybody, but it is the cheaper of the ones that are out there. It's more affordable. And I'm not talking about brand name Ozempic or what's the other one? What's the other brand name?
Is it Wegovy?
Wegovy. Yeah, it's I'm talking about compounded. Compounded GLP-1s are a lot more affordable than the pens that everybody are injecting. Like you can't get that approved unless you're truly diabetic or your insurance for whatever reason covers weight loss, which is rare. But with semaglutide, when they did studies, they did studies on all these meds. This was the first. GLP-1s have been around, but it's the first one that I think got the most
Started
headlines.
getting attention.
Because there was liraglutide, glutide. Those are all before, but you did, and there was weight loss, but it was not very significant. So within 48 weeks during clinical trials, you could lose 10 to 15% of your total body weight. So
Like the semaglutides.
yeah, I mean, so for some people, that's a lot.
That is
a lot. And then you add in exercise and lifestyle changes, you can maximize that weight loss.
Right.
And not if it doesn't work for everybody. I have a few patients that just say it just doesn't work. But there's other caveats to that too. Like, is there something else impeding the GLP not working?
Yeah, that's a whole. We can go back to that one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a whole cascade of things that contribute to that.
Yes, dosing. I had one patient tell me the other day that she's been on 0.25 milligrams of semaglutide since October.
So I'm actually for that. As long as you're seeing effects, like as long as you are, I feel like we talked about least invasive measures, right?
Right.
If I'm taking the 0.25 and I'm still having weight loss and I'm still
That's different.
seeing the effects of it, I haven't plateaued, even though it's recommended, I think, after 4 weeks to increase the dose, right? If I'm still seeing results at the lowest dose, I want to stay on it.
Exactly. And I'm on board with that. If you're losing weight, there's no reason to push and go up every 4 weeks. This individual had lost 8 pounds. So every time you go back to your provider, they re-prescribe it at the same dose and you hadn't lost a pound. Why are we doing that?
So it wasn't necessarily
to?
the patient's idea. It was just
The provider.
slipping through the cracks.
Yeah.
Sitting in the same refill instead of
So you've been
getting
on this
asked
since October.
making an adjustment.
November, December, January. 3 months and you've only lost 8 pounds. A lot of my patients lose that in 1 month if they're on the right dose.
Yeah.
So she was just wasting the money.
I wonder, yeah, they probably should have made a increase on that dose. But I wonder if how much of that goes back to, like I was talking about, it being about 90 days period before you start seeing results with the semaglutide.
Yeah.
Whereas when people start with tirzepatide, I feel like within 2 weeks they're noticing a difference. Like it's a lot faster results.
Yes. Yeah. And then so now we got tirzepatide. That's a GLP-1 plus a GIP. So GLP-1s they're more prone to have the side effects of nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea that alternates with constipation. The GIP reduces that effect of the GLP-1. So that's why a lot of patients on tirzepatide or whether it's Zepbound or Mounjaro don't have these side effects, but it is a little more pricier than semaglutide.
Yes.
So like almost significantly. Here in my practice, semaglutide's $180 to get started, and it's $240 to start on tirzepatide. And there's no telling what retatrutide's going to be because it's a third agonist. But within 48 weeks in clinical trials, they've seen that 20 to 22% body fat loss over that time of those individuals taking it.
Which is double.
Yeah,
it's double compared to the semaglutide, which correlates with what I've seen in clinical practice, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Less side effects and faster results.
Yeah. Even with their A1C, like there was like maybe a 1% decrease of semaglutide, and there was like a 2 to 2.5% decrease in their A1C just by taking it. It's like, that's amazing.
Another thing that I've loved about the tirzepatide is like the catalyst of other things that it has improved, like inflammation. Patients with chronic knee pain, back joint pain, arthritis, like it has significantly and helped patients with their inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many other off-label uses that I'm seeing the terzepatide be used for now.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, are there going to be long-term side effects down the road? I don't know. Probably so. You know, who knows? However, what I've seen in clinical practice has been all good things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Versus the alternative, continuing
The other
lifestyle.
chronic diseases that come with obesity and uncontrolled diabetes.
Yeah. I do have I have a male patient. He's in his 60s, and he's already had 2 knee replacements, and knees still give him fits every day. But he was like 60-pound overweight. He was on the verge of having another replacement or something done because it was interfering with his daily life. And you could hear the knees cracking when he bent them. He lost 50 pounds, and that man, you can't stop him now.
Yeah.
There was one day I dropped something like behind a desk or something. He was underneath the desk trying to get the paper I had dropped. You would have never seen him do that before. I mean, he couldn't do it. And so I was like, what were you doing? He's like, I'm just trying to pick this paper up that you dropped. I'm like, that's amazing. It's the little things.
Yeah.
The little things. And this guy drives to my clinic because I haven't seen him in a while. He drives about 45 minutes just to come here because he likes the benefit that he's gotten. And I've done it at his pace.
Yeah.
And he's a cancer survivor. And, his oncologist is like 100% for it. Like if that's...
I've had rheumatologists, part of I do a lot of pre-op screening in my other job. And, I have to ask the patients, what do you take this GLP-1 for? Because they are being prescribed for other off-label uses. Rheumatologists are, prescribing it for other chronic disease. I even had seen an endocrinologist had prescribed it for visual Allison's disease.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So aside from the fact of addiction, it's helped patients with addiction, not even consumable addictions, right? Like binging with alcohol, tobacco, or food, gambling, of all things, like the way that it works in our brain centers, it's helped patients stop gambling of all things.
That's crazy.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. So it's like, who cannot take this drug? Who is it not good for? Not many people I can think of, unless you have the medullary thyroid cancer. It's on the label. And I think that's rare. I haven't really seen anybody, but.
And you definitely caution GI patients with history of bowel obstruction.
Yeah.
And kind of blockages, history of pancreatitis, things of that nature.
Yeah. Or even just eating disorder. I feel like that would be a bad patient to put a GLP-1, give them a GLP-1. Like you mentally, psychologically, we need to work on that part before you even understand the purpose of a GLP-1. You have an unhealthy relationship with food in general. So that would probably be a person I would not put on if they had body dysmorphia or bulimia or anorexia. We're not going to use this drug for that.
All right.
Yeah. There's something deeper we need to fix first, for sure. So GLP-1s help with decreasing gastric emptying, so food stays in your gut longer. You get fuller earlier. So instead of eating the whole burger, the fries, and the Coke, you may only get half that burger in, and you may not finish the rest. Promotes insulin secretion. So it's promoting your pancreas to do its job and secrete the insulin to keep your sugar down. It's not like insulin where you worry about having low insulin levels. You'll never have to worry about that. With a GLP-1, it regulates your blood sugar by constantly having that pancreas spit out insulin. And then it decreases your appetite, that food noise, like, I need something, I need a snack. And nurses are the worst at it, but most nurses, especially if you work night shift, you needed to be snacking to stay awake or keep going, or that you need to go in the kitchen and see you need something sweet tonight, Yeah, really you don't.
Right.
But it's just that urge, So it kind of shuts that off. And then you add in a GIP with it. That's when we get it to the tirzepatide world. That also helps increase insulin secretion, helps kind of suppress the nausea and vomiting, and that's constipation with the GLP-1. It enhances the effect of the GLP-1, so they work well together. And then I guess that's pretty much it. So then they make tirzepatide.
Yes. And so the caveat to that goes back to the patient that maybe is still there, that's taking it, but they're like, say, fast eaters. I've seen the fast eaters where they still want to eat the entire burger first before their brain has time to catch up, or the early satiety catches in. And then guess what? There are patients that's coming to us because they've been extremely nauseous still. We're taking that, or they're actually vomiting.
Yeah.
And it's like the physiology behind that, I can't speak, is that, again, so your stomach is keeping food in it longer. And then say there was only room for half that burger, but you ate the whole burger anyways. Well, the bottom half of your GI tract is slowed down. So it's gonna push it back up, right? Like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, right? Like, say there's a tiny hole at the bottom of this cup and it's already full, and then you overfill it, it's going to come back out the top first.
Yeah.
So that is a big education component that I tell the patients with GLP-1s when they're starting on and we're going over the side effects. It's also like, hey, if you are a fast eater, you're going to need to slow down. Like, let's start with small snacks.
Yep.
And see high protein, small, high protein snacks, low sugar still, and see how your body responds to that before we go stopping it or starting other medications.
And I feel like the way that it was made was to affect the brain and how we have this relationship with food. So maybe your dose needs adjusted. If you're overeating, and you're probably not on the right dose, I would think, because when it does work and you're on the right dose, there's no way you're forcing yourself. There's just dissatisfaction with food to some point. Some people have to like remind themselves to eat.
Yeah.
So being on the right dose or the right medicine for you.
But when you are eating, slow down. Don't just say, hey, I had cookies today. Let me swallow this whole meal real quick.
Oh yeah.
Still eat the meal slow. You know, even if it is like not as satisfying for you, or, you know, like if you're just forcing yourself to eat, just eat it slow.
Or it's going to teach you real quick that you can't eat that fast.
Yes.
Like you won't like the feeling of throwing up, or you won't eat as many fatty meals because of how you feel afterwards. Like it will train you quite quickly, you know, and you can try to fight it, but who wants to do that? You know, what's the joy in taking that? So yeah, and if you're only going to eat fewer meals, make sure you eat your protein first.
Yeah.
You need that protein to keep the nausea down, but also to maintain your muscle mass. Like the protein is most essential. You see these people walking around, they look like a bag of bones because they've done lost all the weight and they're just sagging. There's no muscle tone. Their hair's thin. It's because they did not take the right nutrition in while they were losing the weight.
They're just
they just wanted the weight off.
not eating.
Not eating for sure. So, and then there's a new drug that's supposed to come out this year. It's called retatrutide, Retta for short, but it's a GLP-1, a GIP, and a glucagon-like agonist. So a triple G is what it is. And it is showing 20 to 24% weight loss in 48 weeks with patients. It's in the stage 3 of clinical trials. Hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year. There are some pharmacies compounding it currently. It is not FDA approved, but it seems very promising. And the difference with that is that it targets fat breakdown specifically, but it also differentiates between fat and muscle. So it's not breaking your muscle down. So I think that is going to be monumental as far as the GLP-1 class. That drug's it just keeps getting better. She's getting better.
And from what I've seen too, like you said, it's not FDA approved at this point in time. But I'm always interested in the black box warnings, right? Like I want to know, like, what can I educate my patient? Like worst case scenario, taking this drug could happen, and it just seems to be the same as the other GLP-1s. You know, the medullary thyroid cancer, the nausea, vomiting, pancreatitis. And I have only seen pancreatitis one time with patients taking the GLP-1s, and they were still binging on alcohol with it. And so I think that was mainly attributed to that alcohol. Yeah. And I say binging, but they actually did not binge. It was not binging. She had 2 cocktails, and whereas before she could have tolerated a lot more. So that's not fair for me to say she was binging. But she had 2 alcoholic beverages with it, and that had developed. So she didn't have a history of pancreatitis, but I think that that's something to be considered with that. Yeah. A lot of patients stop drinking. Oh, yeah. Whether it's because of the discomfort or it's because of how it works in the brain, like we were discussing. Yeah.
I've had a few patients tell me they don't drink as much.
But those seem to be the main.
There's minor
warnings for it.
A few minor side effects that I've seen. They're very uncommon. I have a patient tell me that she started taking semaglutide and her gums broke down. Like they started deteriorating. But it makes me wonder, was she not consuming enough nutrients? Or there has to be something about that. It caused like degradation of the gums. Like they started just breaking down. So I'm like, it could be different things. Yeah. That could be related to something else. But
that's
also,
just what she felt like correlated. She could correlate
it with it.
Yeah, there's no documentation of that in that I'm aware of, but it's just something to keep in the back of our minds.
Paresthesia is another one. And I actually had that. I had that on the back of my arm. And it felt like a sunburn constantly. And I didn't even think of nothing of it. I didn't think to contribute it to the GLP-1. It went away, but I kept telling my husband, I'm like, that's like a sunburn. Like the sheet could touch it, my shirt could touch it. And I was like, it's just this arm, like right here. And it didn't feel any different. There was no visible signs. And then I got to reading and researching some patients that had this burning sensation to their skin and it's in certain spots. And I was like, I have to see it. But it went away. It was a temporary thing, but it was the weirdest thing. I thought had to do something with the nerves or something. But
he still wasn't like uncomfortable enough to not want to take the drug.
Right. The benefits I was receiving. Yeah. And it went away, but it was just more, I knew it was there. It was just weird. It was very weird.
I'm interested for more breastfeeding studies to come out. From what I have seen, the way the GLP-1 works, like the route it has to be taken is subcutaneously. There are some oral medications like Rybelsus, it's the GLP-1. I'll have to look at that more. Yeah. I'm not familiar enough to speak on like how that's absorbed, but the injectables specifically is absorbed through injection, not orally. And so they're saying there's like a limited study saying that like the molecules are not big enough to pass through breast milk, but even if they did, it wouldn't be absorbed in the baby's GIs.
Okay.
And so I've not been brave enough to test it yet.
No, but I just worry about calorie consumption. Like for women that are really determined to make it, 6 months to a year, what does it do to their production if they're not eating?
If it decreases it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the only other thing.
I'm interested.
Yes.
To know that though.
Or they tell you, and I've had this, several providers, I've even had a GYN say, if you're planning on getting pregnant, don't take a GLP-1.
And I feel like it's the opposite.
It should. Women get pregnant because they drop the weight.
Exactly.
GLP-1.
People that were maybe borderline PCOS or maybe had some higher estrogen levels, but not necessarily the other PCOS symptoms.
Right. It helped them.
Or they had just a little bit of insulin resistance,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they take it and they're like, a month later they're pregnant.
Yeah. They say you need to be off of it for weeks because it's a long-acting medication.
Yes.
But I don't see anything significant coming out about the babies having any defects from it. So I feel like it's helpful.
Which this is going to be a scrutinized statement that I'm going to make.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it anyways.
Okay.
It feels contradictory to me that they would say like, oh, this medication that's had all these great benefits for patients, we don't want to recommend pregnant women or women trying to get pregnant to take. But by golly, when that COVID vaccine came out, and there's zero evidence of how it will affect pregnant women, they're like, you need to take it. We have no idea what it's going to affect the baby, but take it anyways.
Yeah.
And then pregnant women were developing pulmonary embolisms. My sister was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, can't be related to the vaccine.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's just.
Yeah. They're trying to support, to say that.
So that to be said, if you're considering GLP-1 and you're considering that you might want to have children in the near future, I think it's the benefits. You might be surprised by the benefits. Certainly if you're pregnant, don't take it.
Right. Yes.
And.
Yeah. But if it helped you get there.
Yeah.
I mean, we put women on metformin that have PCOS, and some take it forever and never, they say it helps lose weight for some people, but, then they never get pregnant. You put them on a GLP-1 and they finally lose 45 pounds and they're ovulating like they should. Their testosterone's down. Bam, there's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with it. If you know the risks and I know the risks and we know that there's not studies, that can say you shouldn't be taking it, and I document that and you're in agreement, let's do it. It gives you a fighting chance to be a parent.
It's a lot cheaper than IVF.
That is true.
It's expensive. It can be expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than IVF. Mm-hmm. And it's, again, does this go back to the least invasive measures first?
Yeah.
This is probably way least invasive.
Yeah. Right.
Some in vitro.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And you can lose the weight after baby. So it just goes to the breastfeeding thing unless you decide to breastfeed. But there's no real studies.
I would be curious to. I don't want to be the one to study things. I want other people to do all that work.
I want to read.
But I want to throw out some study ideas. I wonder, how much inflammation, there may be in fallopian tubes or, just in the uterus itself during women's cycles and stuff. Mm-hmm. And if these GLP-1s may be reducing inflammation in your reproductive tract itself, making it easier for people to get pregnant, as opposed to just any other underlying insulin resistance or high androgen levels. I wonder if there's an inflammatory, not like PID, but just other fluid retention or inflammation
that are not allowing, you to drop eggs or
fertilize eggs to get in there and stick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think too, even just decreasing the amount of inflammatory foods in general it's good all the way around. I think.
Yes.
Decreasing your cardiovascular risk, fatty liver, those are things there's nothing out there on the market right now that can do that.
Yeah. And as far as I have heard people talk about that they've had obstructions, bowel obstructions, and I'm like, well, if we're not eating and drinking enough, because there is peristalsis that still happens with eating, right? Whenever this doesn't stop that peristalsis. So peristalsis is wave-like motions in our GI tract that force the poop holes, it says, out.
Yeah.
Right. And so when we eat, then that's when that peristalsis happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're not eating at all, then there's no, aside from the delayed gastric emptying, of course, like, then there's no peristalsis happening, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe some happens at night when we sleep, rest and digest. Maybe there's some peristalsis that happens at night. However,
a period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but however, we still need to make sure that we're doing our part, right? Staying hydrated, drinking, eating small, frequent meals, at least high protein meals, eating something every day, and then exercise, right? Being active will also help with some peristalsis.
Yeah.
And
it'll speed up the weight loss too.
But if we're just taking this medication, we're going home, laying on the couch all day, not eating, not drinking, not moving our body, I think those are the ones that's going to be at higher risk of having the bowel obstruction.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to patient education and making sure they know the risks associated and things that they can do to minimize those risks to try to prevent some complications from happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing we could end on is patients ask me all the time, do I have to be on this forever? Do I have to? You don't have to be on anything forever.
Yeah.
But if you want the benefits, you'll keep taking it.
Yes.
In microdosing.
Yes. And I keep saying it, least invasive measures.
Yeah.
Right. So if you've met your goal weight, you hear about people regaining some of the weight, right? Maybe they weren't on it long enough for those lifestyle changes to stick.
Right.
In my opinion, like maybe they took it for 2 months and they're like, well, I'm at goal weight, I'm done. And then they just stop.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have time. I don't know the exact numbers. You're better with numbers, but like there is a certain number, I think, of repetition that's supposed to happen for
an extended amount of
time for it to become a habit, for it to stick, for it to be a true lifestyle change. Well, we will look that up and find out what that number is and tell you next time.
Yeah.
But if they haven't taken it long enough for those lifestyle changes to stick, they're probably going to regain the weight when they stop.
So and then have to stay on.
But yeah, so then you stop it abruptly at that, it's probably going to happen. So in those scenarios, even though it's not like a recommendation, I think that the microdosing, of course, us as NPs, we would have to like confirm with our supervising physician that we could do that. Whoever's signing off on our stuff, I would always run it by them and make sure that they approve of the plan as well. Us as NPs can't really make those off-label uses like the physician can, but I'm all for, you've taken it for 2 months, you've reached your goal weight, you don't want to lose any more weight. Let's do some microdosing so you're still getting that brain.
The food noise.
The food noise isn't coming back, but that motivation's still there, you know, like to where you can set lifestyle changes in place. Like, so you can do it 6 months, microdosing for the last 4 months to really have that good repetition and like lifestyle changes, maybe going to the gym, reaching your protein goals, things like that, to where maybe it will stick better.
Yeah.
And then come off.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that I've met my goal weight for quite some time now. I've been able to keep it off, and I think I only dose maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. But I have found, and this is just in me, that there have been occasions where I'll take the same dose. So say I took 45 minutes every 3 weeks, where the same dose didn't work as well. Yeah. So then temporarily I had to jump up to 50 or 65 units to, I guess, shock my body back into, you need to recognize this GLP-1 before I could actually go back down. So, and I don't know what that pattern is about. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
been studied, but
And what do you feel like, what starts happening where you recognize like, oh, I probably should have, do you feel like you just start snacking more
Mhm.
or you,
that was my problem as someone that gained weight and could not lose it. I mean, I could do lifestyle changes, but they weren't sustainable, and genetics was working against me. But I had a bad problem binge eating, and food is one, and I come from a Hispanic family. Food is how we get together. That is what our, happiness revolves around, who's cooking and what we're cooking, and congregation around food. So you couldn't get away from it. You couldn't go to a family gathering without food. Like, it was there. And not only that, even in our time, probably not our kids, not our current kids' time, but when we were younger, you had to finish everything on that plate.
oh yeah, you can't get up from the table.
No. And so you have
To sit there all night. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
I need to finish this whole thing, because you were trained to do that at a young age. But yeah, I associate sweets and binge eating with happiness too. So I had to get a better relationship with food, that it was to nourish my body and not to fulfill a need. So, and when I'm not taking GLP-1 in a few weeks, it will creep back in. And then I am eating the things, all the things.
Yeah.
I know. So yeah, to each their own. But yes, I have incorporated the gym, and in the past I've done CrossFit and ran half marathons and done all the different things. But could I sustain that long term? No, not forever. Like, my body, life in general, going back to school and being a mom, it's like I can't just do those things all the time. So the GLP-1 has freed up some of that for me. The meal planning and the having to go run 5 miles a day, like,
Yeah.
it's given me back more time with life.
And I wondered, like, genetically as well, being a Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give our age, but being a Hispanic mature woman,
Mm-hmm.
like, is there diabetes in your family too that you think that maybe
Oh, absolutely.
would be sneaking up?
I
around
was
the time that
pre-diabetic. Yeah.
oh, you were
I was
pre-diabetic before you
pre-diabetic.
started.
Mm-hmm. I think my A1C was 5.9. Like, and it would go back to that number every time I got off of, healthy eating. But my mom's entire line, my dad's, like, there's diabetes. You were not getting away from it. And
Yeah.
I went back to those lifestyle habits, I would have it. Absolutely, I would have it. There's no getting away from it. But it did correct my triglycerides, and I have never had normal triglycerides or cholesterol, even when I was running and doing all these healthy things and training. I could not get my triglycerides to come down. When I started the GLP-1, it was the first time I ever seen my numbers normal.
Wow.
And I just chucked it up to being genetic, because mom and dad both have it.
Yeah.
So I was not going to get away from it. Didn't matter what weight I was at. But when I started GLP-1,
Yeah.
that went down. And there's no other reason. There's no other explanation. So there went my cardiovascular risk went down.
I wonder, I do wonder if, like, that's part of, aside from like the snacking, I wonder if it is more of a genetic component
Mm-hmm.
that is causing you to snack more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you're like a health nut. You love
I try to be.
all, yeah. But I'll eat. You love workout and the eating. I'm just curious how much of it is genetic component that's bringing you back to needing the GLP-1 too.
Mm-hmm. Like, doesn't matter what I do.
Right.
I'm my family. I mean, not me and my sisters, but most of us are obese.
So I wonder if it's genetic versus, like we talked about again, like the brain centers that it works on.
Mm-hmm. Like, if just my genealogy is more prone to overeating or wanting to eat. Like, I feel like I was starving
Regardless of like the lifestyle changes, how much of it is like genetic.
and not being able to stop. Like, if you could, at that point, you could set Oreo package in front of me and I would not know when to stop.
Yeah.
It was just this unhealthy habit, so now, I mean, I'll eat 1 or 2 cookies on, I'm good.
I know my unhealthy habit.
Coffee.
And yeah, that's what
She drinks her carbs.
I do.
But,
And I tell myself that it's healthier because I get like less sweetness in it sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Correct your
And then-
metabolism.
Yeah. So,
Miley don't complain about
no. Nope, she
doesn't
enjoys,
it's her supply.
yeah, she enjoys our coffee breaks.
Yep.
I tell my husband whenever I'm having, I'm like, I blame everything on her right now.
Mm-hmm.
Miley wants a coffee.
Yep.
I tell him it makes my milk sweeter. She likes it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows I'm full of it, but he lets me get away with it anyways.
Right.
Well, do you feel like there's anything we missed on GLP-1s?
I don't think so. I think
Let me look at my little list.
we covered. But if anyone has any questions about GLP-1s, me and Joseph both had experience with it as patients and providers. Feel free to message us or email us. You know,
And educate us. If there's something that
you found out.
you know that we don't ever want to misinform anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And medicine is ever evolving, changing, new studies come out all the time. And so if you can educate us, educate us. I'm always wanting to learn something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, until episode 4.
Episode 4. So give us some topics to talk about. If there's some things that you wish that you could talk to your provider about, and maybe afraid that they'll be more biased on it, let us know. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about.
Yep. Anything and everything.
Yep.
Until next time.
All right.
See y'all next time.